Hello YouTube, welcome back to another episode of Reading the Bible. Today we are reading Isaiah 2, The Mountain of the Lord. Hope you enjoy. You may even read 3. Let me see how long it is. You might read 3. The Mountain of the Lord. This is what Isaiah the son of Amoz saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. In the last days, the mountains of the Lord's temple will be established. The highest of the mountains will be exhibited from above the hills, and all the mountains will stream to it. Many people will come and say, "Come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the temple of God of Jacob, to teach us about his ways, so that we may walk his paths." The law will go out from Zion, the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. He will judge between the nations and settle a dispute for many people. They will beat the swords into the plowshares and their spears into the pruning hooks. Nations will not take out the sword against the nation, nor will they train for war anymore. Come, descendants of Jacob's loves, walk in the light of the Lord. The day of the Lord. You, Lord, have abandoned your people. The descendants of Jacob are full of superstitions from the east. They practice divination like the Philistines and embrace pagan customs. Their land is full of silver and gold. There's no end to the treasures. Their land is full of horses. There's no end to the chariots. Their land is full of idols. They bow down to the work of their hands. So to their fingers we made, so people brought, and they will be humbled. Do not forgive them. Go into the rocks, hide in the ground, the fearful presence of the Lord, and splendor of his majesty. The eyes of the arrogant will be humbled, and the human pride brought low. The Lord alone will be exalted in that day. The Lord Almighty has a day in store for all the proud and lofty, for all the is exhaled, for the cedars of Lebanon, tall and lofty, for all the oaks of Bashan, for all towering mountains of every high hills, for every lofty hour, and every fortified wall, for every trading ship and every safety vessel. The arrogance of man will be brought low, and human pride humbled. The Lord alone will be exalted in what day, and the idols will totally disappear. People will flee into caves of rocks and holes in the ground from the fearful presence of the Lord and the splendor of his majesty when he rises and shakes the earth. In that day people will throw away the molds and bats and the idols of silver of gold and gold, which they made to worship. They will flee to caverns in the rocks and their overhanging crags from the fearful presence of the Lord and splendor of his majesty when he rises to shake the earth. Stop trusting in mere humans who have just but a breath in their nostrils. Why hold them to esteem? Yeah, we'll read 3. Judgment on Jerusalem and Judah. See now, Lord, the Lord Almighty is about to take from Jerusalem and Judah, both simply and support, all supplies of food and all supplies of water, the hero and the warrior, the judge and the prophet, the diviner and the elder, the captain of the 50 and the man of ranks, the counselor, the skilled craftsmanship, and the clever enchanter. I will make mere use of your officials. Childs will rule over them. People will oppress each other. Man against man, neighbor against neighbor. The young will rise against the old, and nobody against the honored. The man will seize one of his brother's father out in his father's house and say, "You have a cloak, you be a leader and take charge of the heap of ruins." But in that day he will cry out, "I have no remedy, I have no food or clothing in my house. Do not make me the leader of the people." Jerusalem stages Judah is following. Their words and deeds are against the Lord, defying his glorious presence. They look on our faces, testifies against them. They parade their skin like Sodom. They do not hide it. Woe to them, they have brought disaster upon themselves. Oh, the righteous still be lived with them, for they enjoy the fruit of their deeds. Woe to the wicked, disaster upon them. They will be paid back for what their hands have done. You suppress my people, women rule over them, my people your guides, and you will stray. They turn from the path. The Lord takes his place in court, and you rise as a judge. The people of the Lord enters with no judgment against the elders of the leaders of his people. If you who ruin the vineyard of their splendor from the poor in your houses, with the people cursing the people and grinding their face to the poor, declares the Lord Almighty, Lord Almighty. The Lord says, the women in Zion are haughty, walking around the outstretched necks, flirting with their eyes, struffling along swaying hips, with ornaments jingling in their ankles. Therefore the Lord will bring sores on the heads of the women of Zion. The Lord will make their scalps bald. In that day the Lord will snatch away their finery, their bangles and headbands, and crescent necklaces, the earrings, the bracelets, the veils, the headdresses and ankles and sashes, and perfume bottles and charms, the signet rings and the noise rings, the fine robes and the capes, the cloaks, the purses and the mirrors and the linen garments and the tiaras and shawls. Instead of fragrance, there will be a stench. Instead of a sash, a rope. Instead of a well-dressed hair, baldness. Instead of fine clothing, sackcloth. Instead of beauty, branding. Your men will fall by the sword. Your warriors in battle at the gates of Zion will lay lament and mourn. That is Isaiah 2 and 3. See y'all tomorrow for the next vid.